Hi there and welcome back. It's Alicia and I'm here with another pocket letter and to give you a tour. Now, as I told you last week, I'd worked on 4 or 5 pocket letters. In fact, I think it was 5 or 6. And each one that I create is unique to the recipient. So none of my pocket letters ever look alike. And if you saw the first one, then you'll remember that it had a very vintage aesthetic. There was an art technique called gouache that I used, and its vibe was like very, very different, almost surreal. And for this recipient is a very clean creator and enjoys all different colors than the other recipient did. And you can see that this definitely speaks to florals and butterflies and Maggie Holmes and the feeling that summer has arrived. So let's take a quick look at this pocket letter. I've learned tons actually since I started making these, and I'm really happy to share some of that knowledge with you. The first one says, "This is where the fun stuff happens," and that's pocket number 1. And I love that that's the way we begin this, but that sticker's on it's not really a sticker, it's actually a cutout that I did. That's on the exterior, and on the interior is this lovely pocket. And again, we see that I'm layering all sorts of different papers, I'm putting them together. There's a Maggie Holmes heart, there's a vintage floral market tag or vintage tag, and it's just actually it's an assemblage of all the things that our swap is actually about, all expressed in this one pocket. So I really like that that begins to tell the story that I'm going to be telling in this entire experience, not just in the pocket letter. And then we go on to our second pocket, and we see, of course, the infamous or famous Maggie Holmes clock, and it says here, "Marvelous." And the interior pocket is actually, again, it's the clock, but again, I've layered lots of paper. There's a lace doily, several strips of the paper. I've done some tearing. It doesn't look that complicated until you look at it close up, and then you realize, oh, it's actually, it's got quite a few elements. This third pocket is a lot more simpler. It's got a vintage floral market tag, some beautiful raised flowers, Maggie Holmes flowers that are raised up on foam, so they're quite dimensional with leaves, but much more simple. On to our next pocket, which is the butterfly pocket. We have the Maggie Holmes paper in the back. And down, I've layered over that some ephemera that's actually not from that collection, but goes very well with it. And then I die cut out this layering butterfly, which is how you get all those wonderful colors. So the underneath is yellow, and then I layered it, and then I actually added to the color contribution by adding extra ink to it. I also should mention at this point that sometimes for extra depth, what I do is I use the Tim Holtz Distress inks to sort of ink around the edges. Like this one has ink around the edges. A few of them do, because I like it to add depth to the actual piece. And this one I just sort of added to the coloring. Even though the paper came with that, I wanted it to be more dynamic. And we don't want to pull this out just because the butterfly is very dimensional and it was difficult to get in there. And when it comes out, it becomes alive, I guess. And that's great, but I don't want to squish it. This is our middle pocket. This was a little challenging. I don't know much about flower curling, and this was my first attempt, and I can see I need quite a bit more practice at it, but it's a large flower overlaid with a piece of the bridal flower, actually, that I found at Hobby Lobby, and with a pearl in the center. And behind that, though, and when you move it, you can tell, is a tool shaker card. Now, the tool shaker card behind it is actually from the Sunny Days collection, and you can see that for the shaker I used the clam shells and just a few. It's not overly shaky. I didn't put in seed beads this time. I normally do because I like that shake, 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 but this time I really wanted it to match aesthetically, and I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I'm very pleased too with the way that it looks as a supporting color palette for this flower. So when you see it in real life, it just looks like the flower has so many colorful dimensions. And then this pocket, we have this garden which has like grass and these lovely flowers and butterflies and a fence. And that's actually a strip sticker that I got from Hobby Lobby at their sale. And this is a Maggie Holmes flower, which then I gilded and glittered up. And the sentiment says, dreams are for chasing. And I love that, chasing dreams. I love both their sticker pack with the sentiments, and I also like to cut it out from the paper pad. It's one of my favorite collections. Going on to our next pocket is the balloon pocket, and you'll see in the background there are hot air balloons. Now that's not from the Maggie Holmes collection, but it went so well aesthetically and color-wise and from the palette that I really wanted to include it. And then on top, what I did was I used the Petite 3D balloon stickers from Hobby Lobby, and then I added string and I tied a bow. And I chose to do this even though I have a die for balloons, because my die was quite large and took up the whole pocket, and I really liked how the petites worked. The next pocket is obviously a Maggie Holmes bird on the exterior. And then on the interior, I have to be a bit careful when I remove this pocket just because of the gifts that are inside. The interior pocket is quite lovely. It says, life is lovely, and it's all about a floral garden, and I really like that a lot. And again, it all coordinates when it's in there with the color scheme with the birds. And then the last pocket is the letter pocket. So if you look at it carefully, that is an envelope with a letter and a bow. And I did not die cut that out actually. I followed Tony's quick tutorial for how to make that by hand using my We Are Memories punch board. So if you don't have a die for that, you can make it. It took only a few minutes, folks. And then I obviously cut out a piece of paper with writing on it and made a little bow. And then I adhered to that a small die cut, the ones that I showed you in my last pocket letter that I love so much, that can be suns or flowers. And I just put the sentiment blessed because I feel I'm blessed to have this recipient in my life. And if you look at this from far away, this just looks like a nice lace border. But actually up close, it's two birds in a floral garden. I really love this die. It's a terrific one. I found it at Tuesday morning and I'm so happy with it. I'll be honest, it's really like fussy to poke out, and you can't use that Spellbinders die roller thing. It doesn't work. This just requires a lot of patience of poking, but I love the effect, so I think it's worth it. And this heart trim, oh, I just got this heart trim and I'm so in love with it, so I wanted to use it in this letter. Now, folks, you know that I'm as obsessed with the back and the way it looks as I am the front. So let's look at the back, and then we're going to talk about each section and the gifts. So if you remember, the first pocket is, this is where the fun stuff happens, and here it just says, Wonderful You, and it has a raised flower up on a foam piece, and the flower is actually three-dimensional, which is really fabulous. And in this pocket, I'm gifting the recipient these lovely metal stickers that I love, that either you can use in pocket letters or you can use as envelope closures. So I really like those. I think they're fabulous. And then we're on to our next pocket, and this one has a rosette that a crepe paper rosette that I made, and on top is a scalloped circle that I cut out using my die cutter, and then this lovely ice cream sundae, speaking to desserts, because in that pocket I'm gifting the recipient one of my favorite new dies. So I ordered this, when I planned out this pocket letter, I ordered a whole bunch of dies from AliExpress. And unfortunately, I ordered them from all different stores and a variety of them at different price points, but I tried to keep almost all of them between like $1 and $1.50. And I'm going to soon do a video called 30 dies in 30 days. And I'm going to give you a review of which ones worked, which ones didn't work, which ones arrived, which ones took a long time to arrive, and so forth. But this die was a great find. First of all, it can be layered. You can see the middle piece. It looks best when it's layered with a plain color behind it. And I'm just working on a prototype right now where I'm putting a wooden popsicle stick on it. And so far, it's looking great. But I don't think the recipient has this die, so I gifted her a bunch of die cuts in this pocket. Moving on to the next one. If you remember, this was our floral market, our vintage floral market pocket. And so in this one, I'm gifting the recipient a packet of Forget-Me-Not floral seeds. And the reason why I'm doing that is that I just think it's a sweet sentiment. It matches the floral pocket, but more it's about like not forgetting our relationship. So that's what's in that pocket. And then moving right along, in our popsicle in the back here, in the front it was the butterfly pocket, but on the back it's the popsicle pocket. And I just showed you this amazing popsicle, sorry about the lighting folks, the amazing popsicle die cut that I just got. Well, I also ordered the recipient one, and that's what I'm gifting her in that pocket. and it's such a great die. I'm so pleased that I ordered that one for her because it turned out to be one of the best finds. Okay, so now we're back to the center pocket, which you'll recall is our big blooming flower shaker pocket. And the reason I have already the items out is that they're very hard to get in and out because they're thick, the gifts. So right now, a lot of people are doing mermaid swaps. So I found these wonderful mermaid felt cutouts at Tuesday Morning. And they come in 3 different colors and they're a little bit sparkly. And so I'm gifting the recipient 6 of them in this pocket. But it's very hard because look how thick that makes it. So to get them in and out is difficult, and I didn't want you to have to listen to the crinkle crinkle. So I took them out in advance to show you. This pocket, if you recall, was our Dreams Are for Chasing pocket. And on the back it has the ice cream cone. And what I'm gifting the recipient there is our packages, like one is lemonade, the other one is iced tea, and the other one is a raspberry. And these are just packets that she can put in her purse and add to water when she's out so that her water tastes like something more special in the summertime. Moving right along, we are on to this odd looking pocket at the bottom. How odd, right? Because I don't have anything on it yet. Well, the reason for that is that I'm learning to emboss. And it's not an easy thing to learn to emboss. Tony at Craftbridge says she's not very good at it, and I see that a lot of even the expert crafters don't use it, but I am fascinated with it. So I've attempted several times, and I think I'm there now, folks. But the recipient's name I've embossed, and I'm going to adhere to this pocket. And so partially I don't want her to see this yet, and also it's also not dry yet, believe it or not. But the gift is this amazing die cut that I got. If you notice, Tony actually, I think, called this in her design team challenge package, but I ordered this for us like over a month ago. This is a series, these are heart balloons, and this one you can cut out in a different color, the strings you can cut out in a different color, and then this grouping in yet a different color. So I'm gifting her that because that was the balloon pocket. And then the second last pocket, well, you can see, is a Maggie Holmes-esque flower, and then there's the swan surrounded by tons of eyelash trim, tons and tons. And you can see the gift poking through, folks. It's a 6-pack of the little swan stickers. So that's what's in this pocket. And the last pocket is the letter pocket. And it says you and me, and on the exterior. And then the interior of it, it's just a person on a bike saying hello there to represent myself. Now, this time I got much smarter. So you see I used the Hobby Lobby trim, but what I did was, and this is a good little trick, folks, I adhered it where the recipient can easily access the eyelets. If you recall, the last pocket letter I used that difficult to work with burlap, and even with my crocodile punch, I couldn't quite get through well enough. This time I've made it super simple for the recipient. And then I added the Maggie Holmes butterfly trim in the middle. And then originally I was so inspired by Crafty Kimchi's pom-poms and pom-pom tassels that I was going to make a pom-pom tassel for this. And in fact, I did make a pom-pom tassel, but I wasn't as thrilled with the way it looked with the whole pocket letter. And I had bought this lovely chain, doohickey fringe chain at Michael's, and I still have the plastic on, as you can see, so it doesn't get wrecked. And I have it comes with a cute little heart charm, and it's just really well made. So I was like excited to get that for her. And what I did was, I decided instead of the pom-pom that I made, the pom-pom tassel, to pull all different colors, not just from the pocket letter, but also from the entire swap that we're doing together. So there is lace, there is a white ribbon with gold pineapples, there's the Maggie Holmes lovely butterfly ribbon. There is a stronger hot pink gingham, is that how you say it? And you can see that matches all the deeper pinks in the piece. There is a ocean ribbon, and there is also, I missed one. Oh yes, the gold ribbon. That's right. And then what I did was I just tied that all together with that really cute lace bow. I'm getting better at tying these bows, folks. I'm not, I was never that great at it when I was younger, but they're getting better. And so that is the newest pocket letter. I really enjoy doing these. I am so glad that we have so much support for the flat mail challenge because really, folks, This is like building a world for somebody. Each one that I make is unique both to the recipient and their interests and their love of certain colors. And I just think they're so joyful to make. Yes, it's a lot of effort for each pocket, but I think it's really worth it and it yields a really beautiful adventure for them. And who doesn't like digging into pockets to see what the gifts are? I mean, I think it's really spectacular. So thank you everybody for getting behind the flat mail and bringing it back. And if you haven't taken a look at the flat mail challenge, please do so. The video is up, take a look. We'd love for you to participate. I've had a couple of people ask me, how would you feel if I didn't want to do a video response because I don't love doing videos, I get nervous. That's fine. This is not about promoting my channel. This is about getting people to stand behind flat mail so that everyone can do art and participate in swaps without being worried about economics. So if you're uncomfortable doing a video response, I'm fine with you doing something else instead. Lots of people just did a post on Instagram. That was fabulous. Or just do the challenge. I just really want to bring some attention to flat mail. And look how much fun it is. It's so much fun. And did you see how many goodies I snuck in there? So you can get so many goodies in this. Charcrane's right. Flat mail does not have to be boring, right? This certainly isn't boring. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up or leave a comment. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what your favorite pocket out of all of them, right? Which one was your favorite? I'm curious. Feel free to ask me any questions. I'll do my best to answer them, with the exception about embossing, because I'm still learning, and believe me, folks, it's just trial and error. The one tip I will give you guys is that I worked on those 5 or 6 pocket letters over a period of, several weeks. And what I did notice is I often had to go back and re-tack down things with glue. So my one piece of advice I would give you is always go back and triple check your work. Like, let it sit for a week and see if it starts to lift so that you can re-adhere it. So that when you're sending things to your recipients, they're arriving in really great order. That's it, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you and your support. And again, thanks so much for supporting the challenge. So many of you wrote to me and said that you thought it was a great idea, and I thank you for that. All right, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.